Welcome, guys, to Gunning to Old Trafford with your host Shady and Ivy. And wow, a special day all the way from down under. We have Adam from the Man Cave United and Dean from the Worldwide Reds. Welcome, guys. It's a pleasure having you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us, boys. Yeah, really pumped for it. So it's good to meet our South African Worldwide Reds, and mate, we're pumped for it. So it's always nice to meet new people from around the world.
Yeah, this feels a bit like deja vu. It's like we've done this already. So guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. And yeah, these guys are amazing, and it feels like the Tri Nations all over again. We've got South Africa, we've got Australia, and we've got New Zealand. Brilliant stuff. A big rivalry, and but this is a good friendship, not a rivalry. So amazing stuff. Guys, before we get on, maybe if you want to just give us a little bit context about Mancave United and the Worldwide Reds, and let the community of Gunning to Old Trafford know where they can, find you guys so that they can give you a follow as well.
Yeah, so my personal page with all my memorabilia and met the OG Man Cave United, as Emad always says, is Swerve_United, or if you want to go and see our YouTube page, it's called Man Cave United. On YouTube, we also have a Instagram page, Twitter, TikTok, and we're on all the socials. So we're on all the socials, and we're trying to get out to a lot of people. And Emad and I, we don't take our podcast too serious. We like to have a real good joke about players and stuff like that, and not to hound on players or anything like that, but we're just passionate supporters, and we like to talk about games. So Man Cave United on all the socials, and go and hit the subscribe button, just like you blokes.
Yeah,
and Dean and I run a page called Worldwide Reds, which I'll let Dino explain, as he's the man that started it up. So it's a pleasure for me to do some stuff with Dean all the time.
I thought the Oscar music was going to come out then. You got short of that. So yeah,
me.
I just started the
Worldwide
Reds.
As long as there's no Will Smith, Chris Rock moment, we okay.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just started a Worldwide Reds sort of innovation. Just connect supporters clubs from all around the world. I'm a part of a supporters club here in Brisbane Manchester Supporters Club. They're on Instagram at BMUS. My personal Instagram is _Dino MUFC _. And it's all just about United stuff and connecting with people around the world. I've connected with so many different people, and I could probably go to any country in the world and at least know one person. So because United fans are all the way around the world. So good stuff.
Oh, brilliant. Amazing. Guys, don't forget, give these guys a follow. Yeah. You won't be disappointed. We've been through their channel, their socials, the YouTube channel, and it's amazing content.
Brilliant. Just before we get into it, Dean, and I hope you're going to protect me, because you're an All Black, and I'm also an All Black rugby supporter. In the previous Man Cave United podcast, Emad wanted to kick out Adam's daughter's boyfriend for being an Arsenal supporter. Am I safe, guys? I hope I'm safe. I'm the only Arsenal supporter. No kicking out.
You're wearing a Chelsea jersey there.
No, I got a different jersey too. I said I'll come a bit neutral.
He was a bit scared.
I was a bit scared after Emad. And Emad's a big guy, you know what I mean? I don't want to get involved with Emad.
Emad's a big teddy bear.
He's a big teddy bear. Absolute champion bloke, Emad.
Greetings, Emad.
Big up, Emad. Big up.
He's got his fourth child on the way in the next couple of weeks. He's a guy that's under the pump all the time, and it's hard. He's an absolute top bloke. And the thing about it with Emad is he calls it the way it is, and if you don't like it, it's bad luck. And and he backs himself to the hilt, and that's what we love about him. So he wants the OG Man Cave to stay sacred to United, but sometimes you got to open your arms to other teams.
Thank you so much.
And let them take in the history that Manchester United's got.
Exactly.
And what the
most
history.
clubs don't have this.
And Adam, on that, every interview we do with like we did with Dr. Barry and then Meg Dasu and now with you guys, every time we get Abdul a little bit closer to supporting Manchester United. And I think by the end of this, we're going to convert him. So we're on track.
Okay.
You know what? I wouldn't want a guy. I wouldn't want a guy coming from Arsenal to support United.
Hey, worst thing is I wouldn't want an Arsenal fan joining the family, Adam. So you're gonna have to talk to him.
Oh, Dean Garden, right?
So guys,
Actually, I'll talk to him. I'm going to talk to him.
Okay, cool.
What's going on there?
So, and maybe that will be his story on how he was introduced to Manchester United.
Yes,
but
yes.
before we get to his, let's ask you, how were you guys introduced to this beautiful club, Manchester United, and how did you get, get supporting Manchester United?
Don't know.
Well, I was about 2 years old. I moved over from New Zealand to Australia. I'm still a Kiwi at heart, though. My next door neighbour was from Salford in Manchester, and he pretty much got me into it. I played football here, soccer, what it's called, and my team was red and black, so it sort of just matched it, and away I went. Like I was watch games with him, and back in those days, there was only a game of the week on a channel called SBS, and that was a midnight Saturday game, and you just hope that Manchester United were playing, and in those days they were playing a lot of the match of the day games, so because everyone in the world wanted to watch them because they were a brilliant team.
No, awesome stuff. And Adam, you did mention he's, like you say, he's a bit modest in his footballing skills. Dino, if you want to just give us a little bit more insight into your futsal journey.
Well, futsal wasn't really big in Australia. It sort of is still chaotic, but I was lucky enough to travel to Brazil when I was 15. I lived over there for 6 months. I went to school, played for a club over there, and taught me so much about not just football but life differences. And funny enough, I actually stopped in South Africa on the way.
Wow.
I spent a night in Joburg, very different to where I was from, and then that sent me on the way to Brazil, and I spent 6 months there, and that made me grow as a person and just see the world in a different light. So hence the Worldwide Reds. We're all one big happy family here, and there needs to be more like that instead of everyone fighting and arguing. Everyone's just got to come together and support each other.
Exactly, awesome stuff.
Unless you're a Liverpool fan, of course.
I love it. Adam, your journey to Manchester United?
Yeah, so my journey's a little bit different to Dino's. So my uncle was a big Manchester United fan through the 50s, right through to when he passed away in 2000, and I think it was 2003 he passed away. So he'd be 100 and maybe 3 this year in February this year, I think it is. He got me into Manchester United. He was a season pass holder. He had a shop in Altrincham, just in Manchester, and he was a big part of the Malta Supporters Club. He got me involved with the Malta Supporters Club, and in 1994, our supporters club here in New South Wales started up, and there was a couple named Fred and Ann that were good friends with my uncle. So he introduced me to the supporters club here that's been going now 30 years, I think, in another year or a couple of years. So but he always spoke to me about George Best, and he always used to compare Pele and George Best together, and George Best was always his man, and he was the greatest player in the world, and that's how it's everywhere. I'd go to his place. His bedspread would be Manchester United. He brought me back my first piece of memorabilia, which was a postcard. Manchester United were over in Malta at the time. He went to an event there with the supporters club, and there was players like Paul Parker there, Steve Bruce, a young David Beckham that was there as an apprentice. I've actually got a postcard signed by all these players.
Oh, brilliant.
So that was my first taste of memorabilia, and that was my first taste of United success and United players. Even though we watched it, like Dean said, on SBS and stuff like that, or whatever it was, ABC. We had the Shoot magazine that used to come out, and Yeah, and that was the addiction. My Uncle Bill, he just never stopped talking about United, and hence the reason why I've got now Mancaveunited, basically dedicated to him.
Yeah, that's amazing. And a lot of similarities. We had a guest on, Dr. Barry Schmeiser, and I know you guys know him really well. And Dr. Barry's journey, very similar, Adam, being introduced by his uncle and his cousin, and then having ties back to players and coaching staff at Manchester United, the Cliff Carrington, awesome. And then being really important in the, the building of the Manchester United Supporters Club in South Africa with an ex-Manchester United goalkeeper or ex-Red, Gary Bailey. So amazing, amazing history,
Wow, guys, that's amazing, amazing stuff. So a quick one and a question which a lot of South African folk want us to ask. As Australians down under, with your guys' time zone, how easy or how difficult is it for you guys to catch games? Because I mean, you guys have to wake up 2, 3, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, and that shows real dedication and passion. So what's your guys' tactic around that?
Don't sleep.
Don't sleep.
How did I just know that Dean was going to just say don't sleep? It's like a deja vu.
Deja vu again. No, it's something you just got to live with. I haven't missed a match like on TV. I think I was about 17. Like when didn't really listen to parents when I got to that age, so I could just stay up whenever I wanted to, and I haven't missed a game since. So unless I've been in Manchester, I've always watched it live on TV, and it's obviously not the same, but it's still, it's how I enjoy doing. And, you actually probably see a lot more on TV than when you're actually in the stadium. But, it's just work comes second for me. So work understands that. And, I just rock up to work whenever the game's finished.
Oh, brilliant stuff.
Amazing stuff.
Amazing. Adam, yourself? Similar?
Look, I'm probably not as lucky as Dean. He actually lives at the school. So he's just going to step out the front door and he's at work. Look, the games, if they kick off, I start work at 7 o'clock, and if we've got a 5:30 game, I get a half a game in, and but then I've got it going in my TV in my car, and or I've got it in my ears going, and I never miss anything. And then I'll just come home and watch it on the replay. And we're pretty fortunate here in Australia. We get to watch every single Premier League game, so we're really lucky, obviously with a subscription, but the subscription's not that dear. But, you just do it, don't you? You just get up and look, even when we're going through bad times over the last 10 years, my wife used to say, you're freaking crazy, but it's an addiction. It's a drug. It really is. And all you have to do is look behind me or look what Dean's got hanging up and stuff like that. Dean and I and Emad, we talk Manchester United every single day. Like, it's crazy. And it's like you collect cards or you collect signed jerseys or like you collect jerseys, tops, or what do you call it, tracksuits, and you just that's our way, I suppose. And I'll use the words of Dean that he's done on our podcast. It's all the commercial that he did. It's our way of not being at Old Trafford. So we actually like buying the merch, and I know the guys that are at Old Trafford get the shits because all the guys around the world are always buying the merch or something. But that's our thing that we enjoy doing. And look, we understand the Glazer movement and stuff like that. And we really, really do. And we really admire the fans that go out there and protest for us and everything like that. But we're no less a fan than they are, that's for sure.
100%. And we don't
just give Optus Sports a quick plug too there.
Sorry?
Yeah. The commercial that Dean did was from Optus Sport. It's our subscriber. So Dean and I have done a little bit of media, and Dean's done a commercial. I've done a couple of commercials I think, Dean, what year was your commercial you did? That was pre-Perth, was it?
2017, maybe 2008. When did I?
2017. I did a couple of commercials. Yeah. Whenever there's a tour on, they come. We've been fortunate. They've been down under 3 times now in the last 8 years or something like that. And Dean and I get a bit caught up in the commercial side of things. Like, I've done stuff with Mark Bosnich. Dean's done stuff with Optus Sport, and Dean's very well known for all his tattoos and stuff like that, and I'm now starting to get really known for my cave. So we're pretty fortunate down here. We've got a lot of really good mates and a really lot of good connections down under now.
No, amazing.
Even with
amazing.
MUTV, when they come down here, like always jump on MUTV
Yeah.
with Sally and that. So yeah, Sally's a good one.
Love it.
Yeah,
Guys,
really lucky guys.
Please share that with us so that we can pass it on to our community as well. And they can see, you know, how involved you guys are from a Manchester United perspective. Love it. Absolutely love it. So guys, you know, now that you're talking about the involvement with Manchester United, especially when they come down to Australia, you guys are heading up north, you know, taking the trek all the way there. You know, both of you respectively. Dean, you're going for the unveiling of the Jimmy Murphy statue, which is amazing. And I'm glad that Manchester United are doing that so that the friends can recognize Jimmy Murphy and who he was. And then, Adam, you obviously going for the 65th anniversary of the Munich air crash. So amazing stuff. So Dean, we'll start off with you. Your thoughts on Jimmy Murphy and the impact that he's had on Manchester United, and why the statue unveiling is really important from a club perspective.
Pretty much, I think if Jimmy Murphy didn't do what he did after the Munich air disaster, there would be no Manchester United. Like the way he got everyone together, rebuilt the club. You know, obviously others helped him and stuff, but he was the key figure in all that. And you know, just the support he gave everyone. He, you know, went around to rival clubs, borrowing players, and just trying to get, you know, players on the pitch and stuff like that. And you know, back in those days, you didn't have support of like, you know, counsellors and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, he just played a big role, big father figure. And, you know, that's why obviously Sir Matt had him as his right-hand man. He knew the type of guy he was. And, yeah, he was just brilliant after it. And, you know, I think it's just, especially with people like my age and younger, they probably, you know, don't even know who Jimmy Murphy is because he's not really talked about like Sir Matt and Sir Alex and all that. But, you know, obviously at Carrington, there's a statue of him there, and there's an award in his name and that. But I think having a statue at Old Trafford will really build his story with, you know, people my age and younger. And it's just a place for the fans to go and have a look and pay their respects, you know, because a lot of fans can't go to Carrington, obviously, for, you know, reasons of security and stuff like that. So it's just it's a real good opportunity for fans to go out there and learn the story about Jimmy Murphy. You know, there's people that have written some great autobiographies about him. I'm lucky enough to know the Murphy family, so you know it's just brilliant. And I've got a tattoo of Jimmy Murphy on my leg, which I can show you guys later. But yeah, it just means a lot to me.
No, brilliant stuff. And Jimmy Murphy, you know, Samet, you know, especially at that time, blamed himself for a lot that was happening, and obviously he was injured in the plane crash, and couldn't be there. And Jimmy Murphy, like you said, stepping in was a really apart from being a father figure, really important and pivotal to carrying on Manchester United and helping Samet Busby through that difficult period. So big up, and I'm glad that Manchester United are doing it for the fans now. Yeah, obviously they respect Jimmy Murphy, but it's good that the younger fans will have that interactions. And then Adam, the 65th anniversary of the Munich air crash, you going out for the memorial on that, or the anniversary of that. Your thoughts and what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, look, the 65th anniversary of Munich, it's huge for me. It's massive. I love the history of the club, and you know they're massive heroes. These boys that were on the air crash, and you know it's a big reason why I do follow Manchester United, and to learn the history of the club, and where our chairman was very good friends with Harry Gregg, and I was fortunate enough to have a little bit of interaction there as well. So this trip, I'm going with my daughter. She's never been to Old Trafford before. She's a mad United supporter. She's been fortunate enough to meet a lot of players on tours and stuff like that. And we got a thing in Australia called Schoolies, where they finish year 12 and they go away with their friends. And my daughter decided not to go away with her friends, and she said, "Dad, can you take me to Europe and to Manchester?" So we're doing a trip to Malta to go and catch up with the Malta Supporters Club and things like that. I'm actually going to go and watch the Arsenal game there, and which is good. And and then we're going to fly over to Manchester for the 65th anniversary. So I'm going to go watch the Manchester United v Crystal Palace, and then the women's game against Everton, and then the ceremony will be on the Monday. We've got an event on the Friday with the 77 squad, which is fantastic. I think we're going to have Paddy Curran there and a few others. Yeah, so we're going to have, I think there's a fair few players that are going to be there for this event at Hotel Football. And so, look, again, I'm pretty lucky, and yeah, I'm in a fortunate situation where I'm getting the chance to go again to Manchester, over to Manchester, and see the greatest team in the world.
Brilliant. You know what really bust my chops, and you spoke about Paddy Curran, and I don't know if you've seen it. There's this YouTube star called I Show Speed.
Yeah.
And he did a bit of an interview with Paddy Curran, and the disrespect. I know he does it for his likes and stuff, but you know, to disrespect a legend like Paddy Curran, the way that he did was totally uncalled for.
But he's one of those NBA supporters. He just loved Ronaldo, and he's an absolute muppet. Yeah, I'm happy to call him out on that as well. Yeah, Paddy Curran. I've been fortunate enough, like our chairman Mark O'Connor, he's in with a lot of ex-players, and I've had the privilege of being in this cave and talking to Paddy on the phone, and we met Paddy. Paddy came to Australia in 2013. We had they came to Sydney, and we had a Legends event. Dino was there with his supporters. We had Paddy Curran, Francis Byrne, Dennis Irwin, Brian McClare. Sorry, not Brian McClare, Brian Robson. We had Dwight York and Andy Cole, and we had and the voice of Old Trafford there as well, hosted at the Star City Casino here. So very, very fortunate to be in some of the situations Dean and I have been in.
Abdul, you know what this is saying is that we need to head out to Australia.
I think so.
To meet up with the guys and get to the man cave.
100%, mate.
Yeah. Make sure
I'd show you the best. I'd cook you the best Aussie barbecue you could have, mate. I'll tell you.
Ooh.
Dino will fly down and we'd have a ball. I'll tell
you.
And then what we'll do is we'll fly up to Deans. We'll fly up to the Gold Coast, and then we'll go to Brisbane. They have a mad, the Pig and Whistle, it's called. They have the best events that you will see. It's freaking great. I haven't done a live one yet, but I'm hoping this year I get to do one.
We're looking forward.
We're looking forward to that. We're penning that down already.
Already in our black book.
Brilliant.
So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've chatted about that, and you know, for me, a big thing nowadays is social media, and you know, social media, if used correctly, can be a really amazing tool, but can also be a really toxic place sometimes, right? And we've seen the impact, especially with the Glazer ownership, how influential likes and impressions are for them. You know, they even talk about it at their investor meetings and stuff. I'm glad that you're getting rid of them soon. He had Sir Alex Ferguson when he took over in '86, and he had a tough couple of years up front. If social media was around then, do you think Sir Alex would have survived and built this amazing history that he's done for Manchester United?
Dino?
Simple answer, I don't think he would have survived, to be honest, because you look at managers these days, especially, you know, look at Chelsea, that you can win the Champions League and you still don't have a job. So I think the pressure would have got to everyone, you know, probably after the second season even, because that's just the way life is now. Social media is so dominant. Everything's goes through social media. You know, if you're not on social media, you're not cool, apparently. Just stuff like that, you know, like it's so dominated, and, you know, everyone's about likes and, you know, this and that. But, you know, like I do this for the love of my club. I don't come on here to, you know, get likes and all that sort of stuff. You know, I'm pretty modest with stuff like that. I just think, yeah, social media is too much for a lot of people, and they use it the wrong way. As you say, there's a lot of good ways, just like us connecting around the world. Wouldn't have been possible, you know, 15 years ago. So simple answer is I don't think Fergie would have lasted, but I'm glad social media wasn't around, because he did last, and history speaks for itself, you know, like where would it be without him?
100%. Agreed. And I'm going to take you back a little bit also. So now that, you know, Sir Alex Ferguson came in, but he he preceded, or he was the successor of Ron Atkinson, right? And the one thing that I really liked about Ron Atkinson was him bringing in the mercurial Brian Robson to Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson shook up a lot of the culture at Manchester United, but he intentionally kept Brian Robson because he knew the impact that Robson had on the changing room, so the players that were there, on the fans, and on the club itself. How influential do you think Brian Robson was on or in supporting Sir Alex Ferguson in building that successful Manchester United of the 90s?
Yeah, look, he would have been a massive influence, I think. Look, Fergie's come in and he's basically turned the club upside down, hasn't he? And you need a leader in the club, like your Cantonars, like your Robsons, like your Roy Keanes, and you need players that will look up to these guys. And if the captain's doing the right thing, then everything else should just follow. And Robson was that leader on the pitch. He would always, if somebody copped a sneaky tackle or something like that, Robson will always have their back. He'd make sure he'd clean them up. Young players came through. I know, like with the class of '92, when they were getting chopped when they first came in. Robson would quietly just say to him, leave it there. I'll sort it out. And they moved on from there. So it's a huge thing. And in the first 6 years, don't worry, Fergie's name was called out a lot of the times. And like Dino said, he would have been punted easy. And, you don't get that. The social media thing is everyone wants results now. There's no patience. I've still got patience for it as an older fan. Dino is too, and I'm sure you guys do too. And I think that's just part of the culture as well that we've been grown up with. But the newer culture is let's play FIFA 2023. Let's change our manager whenever we can. Let's change our players whenever we can, just to try and win that league. You got to build squads to win leagues, and as much as Arsenal's not in my good books or anything like that, that's exactly what they've done with Arteta. Yeah, Arteta came in and he was fortunate enough he won the FA Cup, and but then he had a couple of slow seasons in between that. They could have easily got rid of him. And look, we had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the time, and everyone was calling for Ole's head, and Ole was on a roll when we came second. And then we always talk about, well, why doesn't the media hassle Arteta? And so credit to Arsenal. They've stuck with Arteta, and the results are really showing now. So we're hoping the same thing happens with Eric.
100%. And I think Ten Hag is the right man for the job.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, Dean and Adam, a quick one, and we're going to move a few years forward. 1996, step in Arsene Wenger. And Sir Alex Ferguson was quoted by saying, Arsene who? 97-98, Arsene Wenger, Arsenal win the league. And 98-99, Sir Alex Ferguson, I still feel, took it personally and wins the treble. I mean, just give us your guys' view on the rivalry between the Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. Wow, it was immense. It was immense. So what's your guys' view on that?
I still say Arsene who, to be honest.
I love it.
Well, this might be more better for Adam because he's a lot older than me. So I was only 12 when we won the treble. So it might be better for him. But obviously, I remember the rivalry. You still see all the old images and all that. And to be honest, I wish we still saw it today. But there's just that many cameras around, and everyone's hugging each other and loving each other. You see the Spanish players on each side hugging and stuff before the game. It's just, can they not just do that for 90 minutes? Don't even look at each other and get out on that pitch and go for it. There's too much love in the game, when it comes down to rivalries and all that. After the game, fine, do what you like. But I just think for that 90 minutes, you can put your friendship aside, I used to play, and when I used to play my mates, they were the best games, you used to go in a little bit harder, and, you wanted to have a dig at them. So, exactly. I don't think you need all the hugging and all that before the match.
An image that comes to mind is when Schmeichel joined City and he came back to verse Manchester United, and in the tunnel, and he tries to greet Gary Neville,
and he refused.
and Neville blanks him. Just looks straight, and they get out.
He done it to his brother when his brother was at Everton.
Yes.
He's a massive red, Gary Neville, and total respect for the guy. He is a red through and through, and he's the man I love. Exactly. Sometimes you don't agree with everything he says as a pundit, but yeah, mate, he was red through and through, right, mate? And he used to go and give it to the Liverpool supporters. Right in front of the club, and mate, that's what you want. And the rivalry between Fergie and Wenger, it was just as bad, and it shined through to the players. And that's where it came from. As much as Keane and Fergie don't talk now, but Fergie's hatred for Arsenal or Liverpool, it shone through Roy Keane. And Roy Keane was another Brian Robson, where if a player got hurt or something like that, like I still remember, I think Gary Neville, I'm not sure whether it was Robson or Neville, Robson or Keane, stuck up for Gary Neville when he first came on. They were trying to, well, that was the whole incident in the Arsenal. Vieira's trying to get into Neville's head, and Roy Keane got wind of it, and he took it upon himself to sort it out in the tunnel.
Through that.
And that's what it was all about. And he said, "I'll see you out on the pitch. I'll see you out on the pitch." And those words ring through my ears. I love it that much. And the Fergie time comes in, everything like that. Pizzagate with Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
We stopped Arsenal's 50-game run. We stopped it again this year. And it's just what it is. It just and I've spoken about it before. It's a drug, and you just want to be a hit by it all the time. It's fantastic.
It's amazing. And that's what football means to us. That rivalry is what it's about. There's respect and there's mutual admiration, but at the end, that loggerheads and the rivalry is really important. I think, we've spoken about that era and obviously the success that Sir Alex Ferguson brought. We then had a really underwhelming period in Manchester United. The 10 years post Sir Alex Ferguson, with more, and we're not going to get into each of them, but, Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho had a bit of success, Van Gaal had a bit of success. Oli came in, looked like he was building something and then fizzled out. Ralph Rangnick had a bit of a disaster, 6 months, 7 months at Manchester United. And now with Erik ten Hag at Manchester United. Do you guys think that Ten Hag, especially now that, potentially the Glazers are going, and we'll touch on that as the last one. But with Ten Hag, do you think if given the time and the, potential to buy the players that he wants for the system that he wants to play, do you see him bringing success back to Manchester United?
Yeah, definitely. I think Erik ten Hag's done a brilliant job so far. He punted Ronaldo. Let's be honest, Ronaldo didn't stand a chance with Ten Hag because Ten Hag wants work rate. He wants it his way. He's very disciplined. And, even like just yesterday, I think I heard that Ten Hag's taken over the youth team, like all the decision making, what players are playing and stuff like that. And, that's what our club needed, like you talk about Van Gaal and all these old style sort of managers, even though Louis Van Gaal gave us great memories, falling over and all different kinds of things, but
Mike Smalling especially.
but you saw like at Ajax what Ajax did, under Ten Hag and what they built and the youngsters that came through and that. He had a couple of older players there to bring through the young players, and you look who he signed in the summer, Casemiro and Eriksen, like. There's a lot of central midfielders out there in the world, but those two right now, Casemiro is brilliant. So, I think just given time, and I think the club will give him time, I think it's going to be difficult at the moment with the sale of the club. He's obviously not going to be given a lot of money like other clubs. And there's actually a few players out there that probably could be brought right now, which we probably definitely need. But I see a positive future with Ten Hag there because it's his way. And look what he did with Rashford just 2 days ago. You turn up late, you're on the bench, and that's simple. Rashford didn't sulk, he didn't complain. He came on the pitch, scored the winner, and it's all forgiven. So I think that's built Rashford up, his character up a lot. I think previous years he would have just been down in the dumps, and I think Ten Hag really made Rashford get his confidence back, and not even just Rashford. You look at players like Luke Shaw. Like if you're going to tell me he was going to play centre back, last 2 matches, I would have been like, what the, and just stuff like that. Look what he's done with Sancho at the moment. Sancho's obviously going through a difficult time.
Yep.
He's gone away from the club. He's training by himself. And, a lot of other managers would have just thrown him to the wolves. But Erik ten Hag's been protecting him. Go train in Holland. The media's not there like here. And, I can only see positive things with Erik ten Hag. And I hope he's there for a very long time.
Oh, brilliant stuff. And I think you touch on a really important point. And Adam, maybe this one, you can pick up here is not only what he's been doing at the club, but the revitalization of players, right? So we've seen Luke Shaw get back to his best, with Malacia coming in as competition. Wan-Bissaka, who a couple of weeks ago, you probably thought, he'd never wear a Manchester United shirt again, right? And he started the last 2 games and he's put in really, really brilliant performances. Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, he had a bit of a tough time at the beginning of the season. So these players seem to be revitalized under Ten Hag. Do you think, that's one of his strengths and that's why the players respect him, is because he's got that mentality like Sir Alex Ferguson, that I'm the boss, no one's bigger than me at the club. And if you respect that, I'll help you grow as a Manchester United player.
Look, I think one of the big issues there was Ronaldo. I think he was huge. You saw players like, I'm a big fan of Rashford, but he was the first one to switch off as soon as Ronaldo turned up. And same with Bruno. Bruno, as much as Bruno had a couple of good seasons there before Ronaldo turned up, and to me, it was like his daddy was always shining above Bruno, and Bruno, every time he got the ball, he was looking for Ronaldo, and that was massive. That brought the club down, not the club, the team bonding and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's a fact. It really is. These players all switched off as soon as Ronaldo turned up because they knew everything was going to be about him. So, and that's a big thing. Like back in the day, it used to be a whole team unit. And these days, it's usually about the individual players. Yeah. And I think that's what Erik ten Hag's brought back. And he's look, we all know Ronaldo wanted to shoot himself in the foot and get out of the club, and because he wanted that big signing, and now you see the revitalization in this squad now that Ronaldo's gone. But credit to Erik ten Hag, he sticks to his guns, and if you like him my way, he'll see the highway. So that's exactly what I want in a manager.
So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining Gunning to Old Trafford. Really appreciate your time. It was amazing talking to fellow Reds across the world. I know our time difference, so you guys accommodated us in making sure you guys make this happen. Yeah? Really appreciate it. And hopefully in the future, we can do a lot more of this, yeah? And if you guys ever need
without a doubt
on Worldwide Reds or on the Man Cave, please let us know. We're happy to support you guys as much as you need, yeah?
Yeah, we do. I mean, on our Worldwide Reds page, on our Instagram page, Worldwide Reds, we promote a lot of people, so, and it's free of charge. So to any of the Manchester United supporter clubs and everyone there, we don't charge for it. You just give us, if you've got an event coming up or you're running a podcast or something like that, we're happy to promote it. You send us a poster, or I'm happy to make you a poster or something like that, whatever you just want to do. So
we'll pull something together for sure. And to all the community of Gunning to Old Trafford, anything that you're doing from a Manchester United perspective, reach out to Adam and Dean, and they can really amplify that for you as well. So guys, as tradition on Gunning to Old Trafford, when we end any of our segments, we go out with, we are Gunning to Old Trafford. So on 3, if you guys
we're going to struggle to say this, you know that.
I know, but just but okay. So, but Dean and Adam,
Dean's turned into an ultra for a second.
It's been a total pleasure and lovely meeting you guys. And like Ibrahim said, this is just a start for something huge, and really can't wait to meet you guys in person. And it's been an education. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, are we good? We're gonna go.
We're down. Struggling already.
Listen here. Let's just do it. Let's just try. Okay, let's go. On 3, 2, 1. We are
Gunning for Old Trafford.
Love it. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a good evening.
No problem.
And enjoy the rest of the podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.
No worries. Thanks for having us, boys. See you later.